Hello, how are you there? I welcome you once again to Percentage, the program established to help rate your performance in your relationship and in your marriage. I'm still with Adeola Soetan in the house. We are going to continue from where we stopped in the last interview. Adeola, how are you today?
Very fine, thank you.
How is everything with you?
Very
You're
well.
looking so beautiful.
Oh,
So,
thank
what's the
you.
secret of your beauty? Can you just share with us?
Peace of mind.
Oh, really? Peace of mind?
Yes,
That's all.
that's it.
That's the secret of
That's
your.
the secret.
Okay, beautiful. Adiola said, the secret of our beauty is peace of mind. Of course, today we are going to be deliberating on emotional abuse. From research, study, and careful observations, I have discovered that most ladies are going through emotional abuse. And today, Adiola will help us because she's been there. She will help us based on her experience, what she had seen, how she was abused to liberate some of us from such ignorance. So today, Adiola, over to you. How exactly were you abused emotionally?
Hmm, okay. I mean, going into marriage, I had a lot of expectations, and those expectations being love, commitment, communication, um, and I didn't get that. I'm not shifting the blame to anyone. I mean, we both have our parts to play in it, but I mean, in my experience, I felt like if I wasn't getting the love and attention and commitment, I could at least communicate that with my partner. But there was no communication either, so there was no getting through. It was going through a brick wall, literally. So I mean, after a while, if it happens for about 2 months, then you can still deal with it. But if it keeps going on, after a while, I started to feel neglected. I still could not communicate that. After that, I felt alone. Um, Being alone, there was no one to talk to about it. No one seemed to understand because obviously, our part of the world, you talk to older women, and the idea is always, oh, don't worry about it. Men are like that. Men are this, without really sitting down to ask you what you're really going through or how it's affecting you. We're all different people, and personally, me being an emotional person, I felt like my emotions were dismissed. I didn't have a right to be emotional about certain things. I didn't have a right to feel this, and I didn't even have a right to communicate it because every time I tried to bring it up, the feedback I got was, oh, you're being too emotional. It's not a big deal. So it was dismissed, and that led to depression.
Was there any time that you tried to call his attention to this?
Always, always. But he's mostly a logical person, hardly shows emotions, and these were the little things I missed during courtship. And the truth is, I didn't miss it. I just thought I could handle it.
Hmm.
I think so.
Okay.
Whatever it is you see in courtship, most of the time you're going to see it times 10 in marriage because at this point, you're living with this person date on a day-to-day basis. So all the bad and good behaviors and everything is right in front of you. So I didn't miss it. I mean, throughout the courtship, I knew he wasn't the most emotional person. He was more focused on his work than the actual relationship. But I thought I could deal with it. I mean, we're getting married with friends, it's not a big deal.
So does it mean that under the same roof you guys were not talking to one another?
We talked, we just didn't talk about anything that was important.
Really?
Yes, because the moment something important came up, or and something, anything about emotions or needs, or my needs not being met or his needs not being, it turns into an argument, and we have this big blowout, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Does it mean that there was nobody, maybe from his side, like family or parents, that you can report him to, what you're going through?
I did, but like I said, I mean, generations are different. Our eras are quite different. I don't know what it was like in the olden days. I think women were just submissive to an extent, meaning they just thought their job was to sit at home and take care of the kids. A man's emotional, a man providing some sort of emotional care was not that important. Now, in our generation, we know better. We want more. We're more enlightened. Do you understand? And we want to get into a marriage, and we want that partnership. We want some sort of equality, And so every time I reported him to an older person or maybe his parents, they didn't seem to understand it much. I'm not judging anybody. I mean, you only know to the level at which you understand. You can only judge to the level of your understanding. So I'm not judging them. It's just what they know. So they didn't seem to see an issue. There was no issue about it. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. They just kept telling me, "Oh, don't worry. This is what marriage is." And I never thought marriage was a bad union. Do you understand? But they made me feel like that's what marriage is. Deal with it. So that's what I got from everyone.
Okay. Were you the one who raised the divorce case, or how?
I would never be an advocate for divorce.
So how did it happen exactly?
At that point, the communication had broken down so much, we hardly even saw each other. So we avoided each other in the house. And I think on a particular day, he got home and we sat down and he just said, "Well, this is not working out."
He just said that?
Pretty much.
And I was not even looking for ways to ensure that, your emotions were corrected.
We've done that over the years, but I mean, when there's a total breakdown in communication or any sort of friendship, there was nothing anymore. I mean, for months before then, to be fair on him, we had literally started living in different rooms, so we were just housemates. So at the time, him saying that was not an issue because there was no marriage anymore. So it wasn't breaking my heart at that point. I was already expecting it. I just would not make that first move.
So, okay, let's say when you were there emotionally, what were the thoughts? What were you thinking at that particular point in time?
Oh, it got to a point, it was almost suicidal thoughts. I was very depressed. I was depressed because nobody goes into marriage thinking they want to get out of it. So at that point, I started to question myself and my self-worth. And I was thinking maybe I was the problem. I kept thinking I was the problem. So I prayed, it got worse. I did everything I could and it kept getting worse. I wouldn't say, I mean, these things, they were there during courtship. I just chose to overlook it because I was more concerned about, oh yes, I'm going to be a missus, I'm getting married. I saw a lot of, I was carried away with all that. And at some point during the courtship, I would have realized that we're good as friends, but not as partners. We were very different people. But I was so carried away with the wedding and becoming a bride, I really didn't think far into the marriage.
Well, Adeola is still here. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Hello there. Are you feeling confused? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling stuck relationship-wise? Then guess what? Percentage is here, and this gives you an opportunity to rate your relationship. This gives you an opportunity to unburden and to get those questions that have been plaguing your mind answered. All you need to do is like our page. All you need to do is follow us and get on board the percentage train now, as you get those questions and problems resolved. We look forward to having you on board the percentage train. See ya!
You're welcome back to Percentage. I'm still in the house with Adeola Soetan. Adeola, I know you are beautiful. So I don't need to ask you about that again.
Right.
A good-looking lady, and of course, I can see that you are doing good also. But Adeola, I want to ask, when both of you under the same roof, you had communication breakdown, does it affect the other one?
Always the other room. Yes, it does actually.
It was how you guys were not seeing each other. For how long was this?
In my own case, a year.
For 1 year?
Yes.
As beautiful as you are? Can we say this guy was
Okay.
blind? No, I don't know what you are saying, but you are so beautiful, and why would any guy on earth have such a beautiful lady like you and will not advance, will not touch you? Please, can you
well,
light
I
on
mean,
that?
that's why I always say something. I have a daily mantra that the only thing worse than being single is being in a bad marriage. There's nothing wrong with being single, and there's nothing wrong in actually developing yourself or not rushing into marriage. In my own case, if you're not happy as a woman, you really can't be intimate with your partner. Except you're a love of good. I was unhappy. I was depressed. The last thing on my mind was intimacy. I want to believe that he also felt a certain way about the marriage, so he wasn't thinking about that either. So I mean, things can get so bad with people that they don't even want to be in the same room with each other, not to talk of even of having any sort of intimacy. So that was my case. Yeah.
Okay, how were you able to escape from this snare of depression?
Truth is, finally, it was like Saved by the Bell. I got a call from one or two people that finally said to me, I understand what you're going through. And that, in the longest time, meant a lot to me. That helped me. I mean, I prayed. I was praying as well. I was praying, and I think that sustained me through that period. You know, so I finally was support system. I finally found people to support me. I finally found people I could talk to and tell the truth, and they actually listened. They empathized with me. They understood where I was coming from. So it's very important that no matter where you're at in life, you should always, or in marriage, sorry, you should always find one or two people you can open up to and tell the truth. And people that can also listen, because that's very important. I kept talking to a lot of people. I knew they were not listening to me. And so I felt depressed. I kept going further into depression. But finally, there was one or two people that stood up and said, we believe you. We know you're going through this. And that was the turning point for me.
Was your pastor in where was he at this time?
And at the time, I was attending such a big church. I didn't have access to the pastor directly. I had access to one or two people in the church, but as usual, I got the same response. Like, don't worry about it, just pray, everything will be fine. But it was never fine. It was never fine. However, I think the prayer did sustain me through that period. If I'm still alive today, I think it's the prayer, really, because I was that depressed. I was, they say disease is a body that is not at ease. I was so sick, I was always in the hospital.
Wow.
And there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. I was just emotionally down. It was that bad.
Wow. So what advice do you have for one or two persons out there who is going through what you're going through or what you've been through? Now, what advice do you think you can render to them?
I mean, I would say to people, you were somebody before you met this person. You were a human being, you had a life, you had goals, you had dreams. Go back to that. Look inwards. Go back to loving yourself. Self-love, very important. Work on your self-esteem. Look for friends. To go back to the things you used to enjoy before this person came into your life. You're still a whole person. I know people call marriage your other half or whatever it is, but first of all, your wholeness and your emotions and your well-being is what you bring to the table. If you don't have that, you can't even make anybody else happy if you're not happy yourself. So I would advise anybody going through this, go back to loving yourself, go back to being who you are, go back to your goals and dreams, change your focus. Once you change your focus, highly likely the other person will take note. And if they don't, it's okay too. You're still a human being. Love yourself. Go after your goals and dreams. Be the best version of yourself.
So for a lady who is going through emotional depression or abuse out there, would you advise such a lady to leave that man?
It depends.
How?
I mean, if the only time I would advise divorce is when a man is physically hitting a woman. If there's no physical abuse, I mean, there's still a chance it can be remedied. I don't believe that everything has to go down the drain because you feel emotionally abused. I mean, but if for any reason you have tried your best and it's still not working, by all means, for your own sanity, you need to leave that space. Or maybe for a while. There's something called separation. It doesn't mean you have to get divorced straight away. You may have to go in separation for a while so that everybody can heal individually before you can come back and work on your differences. You don't have to be there and take the abuse. You don't have to do that.
Well, you have heard from Adeola Soetan. Adeola, thank you very much for coming once again on this program. We really appreciate you, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
We wish you well.
Thank you.
For viewers out there, you have heard from Adeola, and I know it can only get better. So we want you to love our page, our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and our YouTube page. You understand? Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube page. It will be an added advantage to this program. Our mission is to spread this information to help as many as possible from abusive marriage or relationships. Hope to see you on board again next week by the grace of God. Thank you. God bless.